She wore a red dress that stopped time. He climbed a fire escape with flowers. It wasn't just a movie, it was magic. Now, 35 years later, that magic is returning. And fans are holding their breath, wondering, what if Vivian and Edward's love? Story didn't end with a fairy tale kiss, but was only just beginning. Asterisk, when Pretty Woman hit theaters in 1990, no one expected it to become one of the most beloved romantic comedies of all time. It told the story of two people from different worlds: Vivian Ward, a spirited young woman living on the edge of society, and Edward Lewis, a wealthy and emotionally distant businessman. Their meeting was accidental, but their connection was unforgettable. He offered her money for a week of companionship. What he didn't expect was to fall for her. What she didn't expect was to be seen, not just judged. Audiences were swept away by the charm, the humor, and the raw emotion behind every scene. Who could forget Vivian's moment in the boutique? Big mistake. Big, huge. Or the night Edward took her to the opera, transforming her into a vision of elegance? But it wasn't just about the makeover. It was about two broken people slowly healing each other. The film didn't just give us romance. It gave us hope that love can grow in the most unlikely places. Julia Roberts became America's sweetheart overnight. Her laugh, her confidence, her vulnerability, it all made Vivian real. And Richard Gere, with his quiet strength and calm voice, showed a side of Edward that was more than money and suits. He learned to open up. She learned to believe she was worth more. Together, they created a love story that touched hearts around the world, but the original film never showed us what came next. Did Edward and Vivian truly make it? Did the fairy tale last once the credits rolled? That's the question fans have asked for decades. In real life, relationships don't stop at happily ever after. They evolve, they're tested, and sometimes people grow apart before they can find their way back. That's what makes the idea of Pretty Woman 2 so powerful, not because we want to relive the past, but because we want to see what love looks like after time, change, and second chances. As the trailer opens, the screen fades from black to a slow piano version of Oh, Pretty Woman. We see clips from the original film: Vivian laughing in the bathtub, Edward looking down from his penthouse, the limo pulling up to Hollywood Boulevard. Then silence, a new image. Vivian, older, now elegant and strong, walks into a room full of strangers alone. The voiceover says softly, "Some stories don't end, they wait." And just like that, the legacy is reborn. Asterisk, Vivian Ward isn't the girl on the street corner anymore. She's built a life, her own business, her own name, and a purpose that matters. Now running a nonprofit in Los Angeles that helps young women find jobs, safety, and confidence. Vivian has become what she once needed, a protector. Her past is never forgotten, but she carries it like armor. People respect her now, but love, that's a door she's kept closed. Until one evening changes everything. The concept trailer imagines this moment like a slow-burning spark. A charity gala, a crowded ballroom, flashing cameras. Vivian, dressed in a graceful black gown, speaks at the podium, her voice calm but powerful. Then the camera cuts to a man entering, late, quiet, alone, silver-haired and searching. It's Edward Lewis. His name echoes in the crowd like a ghost. He's no longer the man who buys companies to break them. He's retired, widowed, quietly. Haunted by the love he let slip away decades ago, their eyes meet across the room. No words, just memory. In this imagined sequel, Pretty Woman 2 picks up the story not with fireworks, but with silence. Because sometimes silence says more than speeches. Edward tries to reach out, coffee, a walk, a drive along the same route they once took in a limo. But Vivian has changed, and she doesn't need rescuing anymore. She's built her castle. She's not waiting for a prince, and yet something inside her shifts. The twist? Vivian is engaged. Someone else, a polished, powerful man named Charles Rayner. On the outside, he's everything Edward used to be: wealthy, charming, respected. But something doesn't feel right. Charles doesn't know her the way Edward did. He doesn't see her, not really. Behind closed doors, there are signs of control, of pressure, of a future that might not be so golden after all. Edward starts to notice. And for the first time, he's not trying to buy or fix anything. He's just trying to protect the one woman who ever truly mattered to him. But Vivian doesn't want a knight. She wants truth. And she's tired of being someone's project. The tension builds as the trailer teases a deeper emotional storm. Flashbacks of their younger selves fade into present-day conversations, tearful reunions, hard truths, moments where love fights to survive against time and regret. There's a scene where Vivian says, "I don't need you to save me. I just need you to stay." And Edward, almost broken, replies, "That's all I ever wanted to do." In the final seconds of the trailer, Vivian stands outside the old Regent Beverly Wilshire Hotel, alone, until a familiar voice says her name. She turns. And just like that, the screen fades to black. No fairy tales. No guarantees. Just one question. Can love wait 35 years and still be real when it returns? Asterisk, they were once the golden pair of Hollywood romance. Julia Roberts with her radiant smile, Richard Gere with his quiet charm. But in Pretty Woman 2, these two legends aren't stepping back into their old roles. They're stepping into something richer, deeper, and far more real. Vivian Ward isn't just older, she's wiser. Julia Roberts brings a new layer to the character that once made her a star. Vivian now carries the dignity of experience. Her laugh is still there, but it comes with weight behind it. She's seen heartbreak, betrayal, growth, and healing. She's lived a full life, one where she didn't wait for a man to shape her future. This isn't the girl in thigh-high boots hoping for kindness. This is a woman who built her empire from grit and grace. And then there's Edward. Richard Gere's return feels more like a quiet storm than a grand entrance. This is a man who once thought love was something you negotiate. Now he knows better. Edward Lewis was sharp, successful, and always in control. But in the sequel, we meet a man who has lost control of time, of love, of the one thing that ever made him feel human. He's softer now, more vulnerable. He doesn't want to fix Vivian anymore. He just wants to understand her. The trailer gives us subtle glimpses of this evolution. Edward hesitating before knocking on Vivian's door. Vivian staring at a photo of them in younger days. Julia Roberts alone on a balcony, this time not waiting to be rescued, but deciding whether she let anyone in at all. The chemistry is still electric but different. No more fairy dust and sweeping gestures. Now it's shared looks, silent car rides, unfinished conversations. The pain of what could have been lingers in every scene. They are not trying to rekindle their past. They're trying to discover who they are now and whether those two new people still fit. The concept trailer also hints at new characters meant to challenge, support, or reflect the legacy of the leads. A possible daughter figure for Vivian Tough. Skeptical, protective. A goddaughter or even a protege in her nonprofit. Perhaps Edward's estranged son from a previous marriage, cold and critical of his father's regrets. These younger roles add emotional layers, pushing both characters to confront what they've passed on. And what they've left behind. There's also space for cameos and callbacks. Barney, the hotel manager, gentle, polished, and maybe the one person who still believes in their story. Even Stuckey, the former villain, could return in a surprising role, older, remorseful, perhaps even reformed. After all, everyone changes with time, but the real draw? Watching Julia and Richard share the screen again, not as icons, as people, as characters who lived through love, lost it, and maybe, just maybe, have the courage to try again, because the most powerful love stories don't end with "I love you." They begin again when someone says, "I still do." Asterisk, the moment the trailer begins, you know it's different. This isn't a flashy reboot. It doesn't scream for attention. Instead, it whispers with emotion, pulling you into a world where silence means more than words and every glance holds a memory. The visual style of Pretty Woman 2 is warm and mature, dipped in golden tones and soft shadows. Los Angeles looks less like a playground and more like a faded photograph still alive. But older now, just like the characters who walk its streets, the camera doesn't rush. It lingers on Vivian's quiet smiles, Edward's hesitant expressions, the space between them at dinner tables. There's a delicate pacing that mirrors real life, the awkward pauses, the unspoken tension, the aching weight of what's left unsaid. You don't need explosions or car chases. All you need is Julia Roberts looking away just before her eyes tear up, or Richard Gere placing a trembling hand on a doorknob he's afraid to open. The music is what ties it all together. A reimagined version of Roy Orbison's classic, Oh, Pretty Woman, plays softly, almost unrecognizably, at first slowed down, piano-heavy, full of longing. As the trailer builds, orchestral swells rise behind moments of confrontation and closeness. One standout scene flashes. Vivian standing alone in a room full of people, but when she hears Edward's voice from behind, the music cuts out pure silence, letting her breath do the storytelling. Online, the fan reaction is explosive. Comments pour in. I didn't know I needed this until I saw it. They look older, but somehow even more perfect together. This isn't a sequel. This is closure and a second chance. Some fans say it feels like coming home. Others cry just hearing the voiceovers say, some love stories don't end, they just wait. One viral tweet reads, My mom watched Pretty Woman when she was 20. She's crying watching this trailer at 55. That's how deep this goes. The trailer balances nostalgia with fresh emotion. It doesn't try to copy the original, it grows from it. There's even a powerful moment where Vivian walks past the window of the old boutique where she was once rejected. Now, she's the one the new girl turns to for help. She walks in not as a customer this time, but as the owner. And that quiet reversal hits harder than any speech. Behind the scenes, rumors swirl about a limited theatrical release followed by a streaming debut. Some speculate awards talk especially for Roberts, whose performance in the imagined clips is raw and glowing. Critics say if the film were real, it could redefine what a romantic sequel looks like, elevated, thoughtful, and grounded in emotional truth. The final moment of the trailer shows the same fire escape from the original movie, old, rusted, covered in vines, and this time it's Vivian climbing up to Edward because maybe the real happy ending is realizing you can still choose each other even after all the time that's passed.